There's two different kinds of fear. There's Irat Shemaim, and then there's sometimes the fear that the Satan tries to take advantage of. How can one identify when it's a good fear and when it's a bad fear?
Uh, there is a levels of Yirat Shamayim, not different types of Yirat Shamayim. There's levels of Yirat Shamayim. The lowest level of Yirat Shamayim, the lowest level of fear is fear of punishment. The highest level of fear is fear of the majesty of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of His significance, where you're afraid of ruining the relationship, you're afraid of tarnishing the relationship you have with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's the highest level of fear. And then there's fear of of being punished. Now, as far as being afraid of a good fear and a bad fear, the key is to understand that you're supposed to utilize fear to connect to Hashem and to constantly improve on your understanding of what you're afraid of in order to connect to Hashem even deeper and increase that fear. Now, part of it is to know how to deal with the pressure that's put on you, which, for example, is the Satan. Satan is going to constantly put pressure on you to go away from Hashem. That's his job. His job is to constantly, so you have to constantly look for him in every corner. You're not necessarily per se scared of the Satan, you're scared of how you're going to react to his trap. Now, it says in the Gemara in several places that the Satan had a few friends. Who were these friends? The tzaddikim. He was friends with them. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi was friends with them. He was friends with Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. Yeah, but Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi was a righteous person. Shouldn't he be like enemies? No. The Satan likes tzaddikim. He loves tzaddikim. He hates sinners. He hates sinners. So how come but he's the one that caused them to sin? No, he didn't cause you to sin. He did his job. Hashem sent him to put pressure on you to see whether you love Hashem or not, whether you connect to Hashem or not. He is doing his job. He's not getting punished for doing his job. He's doing his job. He's putting a trap on you. If you pay attention, you'll skip the trap. You'll go around it. You'll jump over it. You're not going to fall into it. If you're not paying attention, you fall into the trap. Oh, you fall into the trap. You're mine now. Why? Because that's my job, Satan says. That's my job. But if you're a tzaddik, then you're just like me, the Satan says. Why? I'm a servant of Hashem. You're a servant of Hashem. We're just the same. So we're peers now. We're peers. So the Satan loves tzaddikim, hates Reshaim. Why? Because they keep falling for the trap and they keep disrespecting his boss. Who's his boss? HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So now, Rabotai Yekarim, it's not the Satan that's necessarily the enemy. It's you falling for it. In essence, we are our own worst enemy. Satan is just there to do his job. I remember earlier part of my tshuva, I used to curse the Satan on a regular basis. I used to pray for him to die. I used to pray for him to do this, all types of things. And then eventually I learned a little bit of Torah, and I realized that I'm an idiot. Why? Not only is he simply doing his job, but by actually speaking against him specifically, you're enticing him to do even worse to you. What do? What do you think you're going to win? By cursing him? So it's not a good idea. The point is, Rabotai, is to learn Torah. Therefore, you'll be able to identify where the trap is. Because by learning Torah, you'll find, and by retrospecting and introspecting and looking at things, seeing what's in the Torah, and then looking at yourself. Seeing what's in the Torah, then looking at yourself. Seeing what's in the Torah, then looking at yourself. You see, oh, I got this. Oh, I'm missing this one. I got this one. I'm missing 5. I'm missing 10. I'm missing 12. Okay, I got to fix something. I'm missing some stuff. I'm going to start fixing it. So by now, doing this introspection and applying the Torah that you're learning, you're going to learn how to overcome the trap. You're going to learn how to overcome the trap, and the Satan is not going to be such a big problem for you. In fact, he's going to help you get to a higher level of servitude of Hashem. The Satan is there to help you get to a higher level of servitude of Hashem. He is the pressure. If it wasn't for the Satan, you'd simply have no purpose in life. He's the one that puts pressure on you. He puts the trap there. If there's no trap, there's no hurdle, then of course you're going to pass. Why should you get rewarded for it then? But we're not supposed to cheer for him either. We're not supposed to say, oh, Satan, come for me. Why? Because he'll eat you alive. Again, he has a job. So, point is, everybody's got a job. If we focus on our job, we'll do perfectly fine. We'll learn Torah, we'll see what the trap is. Once in a while we'll fall, but then we'll get up. We'll use that fall to get even higher. We'll understand that each time we overcome the Satan, we're getting a bigger reward. The bigger the Satan, the bigger the reward. The bigger the pressure, the bigger the reward. The bigger the obstacle, the bigger the reward. The bigger the eventual thing that you're going to get that's good for you. And you're not going to get a participation award. You're going to get a winner's award. Why? Because you won the battle of life. But if we don't learn Torah, or if we learn Torah but don't apply it, then what's going to end up happening is that we're going to see that we literally fell for every single trap that the Satan gave us, and none of the excuses that we have will matter even a single inch in Shamayim. Hashem will punish us for every single mistake we made because we did not apply ourselves. He gave us an instruction set, we didn't apply it. So, he gave us the open book of how to pass the test. You chose not to follow it. The obstacle was part of the reason. That's the point of the test. That's the test. So if you apply yourself, you do your best, you'll win. You don't do your best, you'll lose. Simple.